Alright, so from the title of the video, you can probably tell where I'm going, but I don't know that yet. So yeah, here we are again, 2 weeks away from another holiday, and I don't know where I'm going yet. And once again, random coordinates will determine my fate. So same exact logic as last time. I will reload random coordinates until I get a point which is near a Google Maps location, like a Google Maps pin. So near a settlement or settled areas. After I get there, it's a lot more off limits on where I will need to go. Just like previous times, nothing different. But yeah, regarding locations which I might exclude, I think I'm gonna follow the same logic as before. So I would exclude locations which are seen as the most dangerous according to the UK travel advisory. Last time gave me my last trip gave me some new perspective on this matter, in that some areas which are considered as absolute do not travel, such as Syria at the moment, for example, still. I could probably go there with like a tour guide, like a local. I would most likely be fine, but just like with the Pakistan trip, I was constantly surrounded. For most of the time, I was surrounded by a police officer, and the things I saw was limited. So that's why it's not really my style. I really enjoy traveling independently, even though I will say that traveling with a police officer, with a local, made basic things so much easier, like transportation and communication. But I travel for the challenge of it, and these to encounter interesting situations, like meeting with the villagers. So that's why I travel with a local or like a tour agent. It's not really my thing, and most dangerous place in the world, they're just not fit for that kind of independent travel. So from this map, I will have to exclude everything that is red. As far as things I hope to get, or destinations, I hope that I will get a continent which I haven't properly been to yet, so like North America, Africa, Australia. But I've been to many large countries at this point, like China, Brazil, and Pakistan. So I think it's quite likely that I might get the same country, or a country I've been to before, but I think that's fine. Because these countries are so big, there's so much to see regardless. With that being said, I think it's time to start. I could probably, once I grow my fan base or viewership, I could live stream these things, because I do these legit. Yeah, this is always anxious to load the coordinates, but here we go. So ocean so far. Yeah, I'm in Mainz right now, in Germany. I got Japan, but no Google pins around there. Haven't been to Japan. So that's that. Vietnam. Okay, I like that. Near Hanoi. Okay. I could get to China as well from Vietnam. Because these are just the first coordinates. Like in the previous two trips, I wandered quite far from my original coordinates. But as far as this next one, the starting point will be in Vietnam. And it's cool. I haven't been to Southeast Asia yet, so yeah, I like this. This is cool. All right, see you in a couple weeks, I guess. So, here we are. Vietnam awaits in one day. But before that, I wanted to show my coordinates once more. So they're here near Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. And the odds of me getting Vietnam are somewhat high, given that it's a very densely populated country, and naturally that means that there's going to be more Google Maps pins, Google Maps locations. So that's why I would say that traveling by random coordinates doesn't per se start, but takes on a new gear once I get to my first coordinates. But despite this, despite Vietnam being densely populated country, I wanted to calculate what were my specific odds of getting these coordinates in particular. So Vietnam is actually within this circle where 50% of the world population lives, despite it being quite a small circle in terms of land area. Likewise, Southeast Asia, only encompassing these countries, making up a relatively small land area, makes up a population of 700 million, which is, I think, twice the population of America, which is quite interesting. But if we go with Vietnam in particular, as a population of 96 million at least 5 years ago, 6 years ago. But if we assume that the world population is 8 billion, I guess these are the best estimates that we have today. That means that the world population, my odds of getting Vietnam were 1.2%. Furthermore, if we want to calculate using the particular province, which I believe is Hung Yen, correct, right on the border, its population of being 1.25, we can do the same calculation to get odds of 0.156%. I mean, obviously, when you break it down more and more, the odds obviously decrease, but if we want to go even further, which district will this be? The sub-district? Probably this one, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. 79,000, well, let's say 80,000. So in millions it should be this. So it's the same calculation. We get lots of lots of 0.01 to get this particular district, Fuku, which I'm not sure that's meant to be pronounced. I need to
Fuku.
Try to learn a little bit of Vietnamese while I'm there. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. But before I go, today, my country, Finland, is actually playing Netherlands in the World Cup qualifiers. I'm gonna go. Though it might be a bit confusing to others since I'm wearing an Ajax shirt, which is a Dutch football team, however, with a Finnish player on the back, but just to avoid confusion of this as well. But yeah, Vietnam awaits tomorrow. Looking forward to it. The heat might kill me and the humidity, but we'll see. I don't have any prejudices or any expectations with anything really. I'll just go and see how it is, but from others I've always heard positive things about Vietnam, at least as a tourist destination. So yeah, next transition to the football stadium, I guess. All right, here we are. It's 2-0 right now. Netherlands, as expected, dominated the game. I'll blow up the stats here. But Finland has actually managed to put up a few attacks here and there, a couple chances, which is something I'm already happy with. So yeah. But yeah, 2-0 to the Netherlands. But good effort from Finland, I guess. It's never been our main sport, it's hockey. So the fact that we got at least few chances against bona fide superpower in Netherlands, that's already good enough for me. And the vibes were good. The fans were chanting the entire game despite quite a lopsided result. It was good to see. And I've always liked I've always liked Dutch football and the national team. I do hope they win the World Cup one day. And it was good to see Virgil van Dijk and to see that he still got it. But that was that. On to Vietnam. All right, here we go. We're boarding soon. First leg to Istanbul and then to Hanoi. I'm not even feeling at the moment. Probably because I've been quite busy lately with work and other stuff. But I think once I touch down, that's when it's really gonna set in. And once I get to my first courts. Right, here we are in Istanbul. I don't know for how many time. It's the Nations Cup final. There we go, 95 to region Hanoi, and they're about 27 country Vietnam. Yeah, it's hot as shit. Not hot, but very humid. But we'll see. I guess it's bearable enough. So goddamn tired. No matter what, no matter how tired I am, I just can't sleep at airplanes. So I haven't slept in like a while now. But I think it's probably a good thing because we're flying east towards east. That means that even though the flight lasted around 9 hours, and I think we took off at 1 or 2 a.m. or something. It's like 3:30 p.m. right now. So I mean, meaning that if I would have slept at the airport, Hanoi train station. Yeah, first impressions really cool. I mean, like, each building looks different from one another. Like, this is a big difference from China, where buildings are a lot more monolithic. Here you see so many different kinds of influences and architectural styles. You can still see remnants of the French colonial past, as Vietnam was part of the colonial France along with the rest of Indochina. Yeah, I'll show you some Hanoi, so enjoy it, because you're not gonna be able to find it via Google Street View. This is the extent of Vietnam Street View coverage that I was referencing in the video. And actually, interestingly enough, just mere weeks after, Vietnam actually allowed the release of the Street View coverage, because Google Street View already went there 8 years ago. So a bit of a similar situation like with Germany in the previous video, that the footage was taken quite a long time ago, but it took quite a lot of time to get the mostly unrestricted permits to actually release the footage. At least according to the Google Maps, this park right there is the center of Hanoi. And yeah, as you may have seen from my previous videos, if I'm on my way to my coordinates, but I have to stop by in a city or a town, I usually walk around that town a little bit before I proceed to my coordinates, because my pace of traveling is way too high paced to begin with. It looks like it is open here. Let's check it out. But yeah, usually in the previous times I just roamed around these towns, these cities, just by feel, but thought that this time I could just do the random corners here as well. For example, if I get coordinates which are further than 100 meters from the nearest building, that means that I'm done with the city or town and I move on to my main task at hand, which is the coordinates, obviously. Found a nice little spot here, a little pocket of calmness. A very hectic city, obviously. But yeah, let's load the random coordinates, shall we? I can show you. So this is where we are right now, center of Hanoi, I guess. Let's show the number then. I guess we're not gonna be staying in Hanoi then. 8427. I mean, that's gonna be out of the country, likely even out of the continent. But let's see. I know it seems cool, but the main task is get the coordinates and actually explore the Vietnamese countryside. That's sort of the main thing. Yeah, Myanmar, cool. But yeah, to be fair, it's already 6 p.m. and I haven't slept in over 24 hours. Therefore, feeling a little bit meh. So yeah, I do need to get some sleep, rest up before I head to my adventures once again to get to my coordinates. I haven't even investigated how I would get there, but I'm sure there's a way. But yeah, 6 p.m. now. There's still my hotel is not right around here. It's still maybe like a kilometer walk away. So I'll still get to see a little bit of Hanoi. And tomorrow, obviously, I have to get out of the city, which is very massive. So I'll see some more tomorrow. And tonight I definitely need to get some local Vietnamese food. I've eaten Vietnamese food several times back home, and my best friend or friend I've known the longest is Vietnamese, so I've had Vietnamese food at their family as well, at their family's place, so I know that it's really good, so I need to try it right here in Vietnam. First thing to do today. First thing to do while here.
Dẫu đắng cay ngọt bùi, những cơn mê dù ta ngất ngây, hãy cùng nhau sống hết bao hôm nay. Một mình không chen đua, không muốn tước danh để còn say với gió thơm ruộng đồng. Một ngày sau chốt sống cho qua hết đi, đừng buồn chi ước với mơ làm gì. Buổi sáng thức dậy mới hay ta lo sống trong cuộc đời.
Basic bitch, I got pho and beer, which is very popular in Vietnam. But yeah, really good stuff. I also wanted to say that, yeah, I mean, this is much different than any other place I've traveled to before. Even though I've been to a neighboring country, it being China, I did travel in the northern and I guess central provinces. So I mean, if I were to go to south, like Shenzhen, I suppose it will be a little bit more similar. Sugarcane juice, try that while I'm here today. Alright, this is where I'm staying tonight. Pretty nice. And tomorrow the real day starts. My first coordinates. Okay, day 2 or day 1, depending on who you ask. Oh man, the humidity. Forgot about it being in the hotel with an AC. But yeah, did some investigating yesterday as regards to how I'm actually going to get to my course, since that's the main goal. Found something off Vietnamese internet, but it seems quite vague, and on 2 different websites you get 2 different routes, and it only gives you the routes, like the streets the bus passes, but not where it stops specifically. And yeah, it's probably kind of like Pakistan, that the bus travel is half organized, half somewhat disorganized. It goes from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. So they should be around, but I just need to figure out where it stops. So there's a pond in the middle of the city. tourists around here. It looks like there's something over there. We might visit. Yeah, looks pretty cool. So I need to pivot towards the sort of a main street where supposedly the bus is passing by. Then I just figure out where it stops. Yeah, and on it. I believe this area is called French Quarter. You can see a lot of colonial inspired buildings in here. This is the main street I was looking for. Here's the Bengia local bus station for to probably get to towns around the coastal areas like Haiphong. But we're going more like south or southeast. This is the arrival side. This is the departure side, so I think I need to get to that side. I think I'm on the right side now. There it is. Oh. Okay, it does go there. It does go to my village I need to get to with a close walking distance to get to my courts. And yeah, I think he was saying that he's gonna go to this side. This is where all of the passengers are waiting. I think at this point we just wait. Well, this is interesting. Here's a map of each of 6 main Hanoi bus stations, I suppose. So we're in Yalong right now. Yeah, I was right. It serves, we're now in the east side of the city. It serves eastern, some northern and southeastern locations. But then we have this station which covers the entirety of north of Hanoi, and it has some southern regions. You can see a package rub on my feet, and that's because with these Vietnamese buses going to neighboring districts and regions, it's not only the people which are being transported, but packages and mail as well. So the bus would stop at sometimes very random locations, like in the middle of a highway, to pick people up or pick some packages up, and then typically at some villages somebody would take those packages or people would get off. Also, you don't pay to the driver. There is a conductor sitting next to the driver who would go around the bus collecting fares from the passengers. So all in all, a bus experience which is common in quite many other Asian countries. We are in Lương Bằng. The entire bus right here was entirely made of build-up area. So I mean, some say Tokyo is the largest city. There are other cities in the urban area as well, but Tokyo is sort of known as the main center of it all. And you obviously have Pearl River Delta, which is larger, but it consists of many consists of many urban centers and obviously three different administrative areas: Hong Kong, Macau, and China. Then you have many places in Southeast Asia which are just entirely built up areas. It's all connected. Like this part of Vietnam seems to be entirely made of built up areas. So how do you judge what is an urban area, what isn't? And it's an arbitrary discussion. But we're pretty much in the center of Long An. I don't have too much time today. I still have maybe like 10 or so kilometers to walk to my courts. And I woke up quite late today because of jet lag and because of being asleep for 24 hours. But we'll see if I still have a little bit of time here. Let's see what the random numbers and coordinates say. Here we are in Yongbang. My courts are right there. Alright, let's see. 100 meters of populated areas. Okay, we're getting 500 meters, so I guess we'll get something here. Let's check it out. There, by that tree. So there are some street vendors. Let's see if I can buy something. Depending what it is. Veggies and seafoods. Oh, this is Yongbang. Malaga preparation once again on the forefront. Turns out it takes like 3.5 hours to walk there, 15 kilometers. And by then it's gonna be completely dark. But on the other hand, I'm already here. I've already taken the initiative out of Hanoi. We're like 40 kilometers away, 50 kilometers away from Hanoi. So I'll go for it. I might need to take a motorbike or something, but luckily there's a lot of them around. Yeah, we'll see. I'll just start walking towards the direction and see what comes up. That might be the administrative building of this village or town or whatever the definition is. There's a river there. On the other side is completely vegetated. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Now that I'm here, it's my 96th region, Buồn. So, obviously the main administrative capital of this district is in Buồn. Hello. Yeah, I was actually just about to say this. Now that I entered more rural parts of Vietnam, or like outside of Hanoi, the main tourist spots, now the locals are really interested in me. I'm not really interested, but you know, they notice. When you say hello, a little bit like in China, actually. from the lushest country by far. Either this or Brazil. Some durian in there, seems like. But yeah, even China wasn't as luscious as Vietnam. I noticed this immediately once I left the airport yesterday. Very lush, very green. And then luck struck me as a local teenager gave me a ride on his scooter. I actually covered most of the distance to my coordinates. But yeah, China just like Vietnam. Vietnam just like China and probably the rest of Southeast Asia. Walking is not really normal here. You kind of stick out like a sore thumb by walking here. Everybody just rides scooters. Yeah, very friendly. It's a pretty nice looking house. Very friendly locals. I got a ride almost immediately, maybe 10-15 minutes, without even asking actually. And it took me quite a lot closer. So now it's only 6 kilometers away. You have these lychees or lychees, I don't know how you're meant to pronounce them. You have them everywhere around here. I had some while in China, they're really good. It doesn't feel like it's a real fruit. One thing about Vietnamese, I've seen some maybe overweight people, but none that I would call straight up obese. But actually, Vietnam has one of, if not even the lowest rate of obesity in all of the entire world. And likewise, when COVID broke through, Vietnam had very low COVID casualties rate, even though it's a neighboring country to China and one of the closest countries to Wuhan specifically. Okay, I think I was actually wrong on this one. So these figures here indicate COVID deaths per 100,000 people, and while Vietnam's figures sure look small compared to, say, Europe or North America or South America especially. Damn, what happened in Peru? I heard about Italy being hit hard by COVID, but not Peru. So yeah, while Vietnam's figures, relatively speaking, are lower, it doesn't really stick out among its neighbors like I had initially thought for some reason. I mean, I think these countries, they probably had a different standard or level of accuracy when it came to reporting these things. Especially for China, 8.5 as the country where COVID originated from, which I'm a bit skeptical about, since China really doesn't have the greatest track record when it comes to transparency in health-related statistics. But nonetheless, Vietnam's COVID deaths are nothing, especially low compared to its neighbors. Especially Cambodia seems to have relatively much less deaths, and Laos. So I think I was wrong on this one, and I will say that when I input facts on my videos, they do not usually go to great lengths of scrutiny. So by all means, if I ever make any mistakes in my videos, please let me know, and I will rectify it. So there's certainly quite many things that Vietnam at least seemingly does right. Some bananas, it seems like. But yeah, just like in China, at least in this part of Vietnam, it seems like every bit of land, each and every square meter is being used and cultivated for whichever purpose it is, either housing, enterprise, agriculture, but yeah, very densely populated and used areas here in the Red River Delta, actually. That's probably also why it's so lush. This is very fertile land. Did we notice this cathedral before? But yeah, actually in Vietnam, about 10% of the population is Christian, which for Southeast Asia I believe is quite a lot, or Asia in general. South Korea is another one of those countries which are a lot more Christian than some people might expect. Remember living and traveling. Oh, cool. I remember living and traveling around South Korea, and there were churches with like huge LED crosses, like pretty much in every block. We're only 20 minutes away now. This river right here, I don't know its name, separates this Hungyan province from Haidong province. So that's Haidong province over there. But yeah, I mean, Chinese provinces are first level, I think there's like around 80 or so first level administrative divisions in China, even though it's not that massive of a country. So average first level administrative region in Vietnam is quite small, so they're quite dense, but not as dense as Slovenia, for example. Allow me to demonstrate. If you're into geography like me, you may have heard of this website, but this is the true size of, which shows the true size of different countries and regions, because this sort of world map projection is not really an accurate way to gauge the size of a country or a region, especially once you go further from the equator, because the world is a sphere and this sort of projection just puts it all on one plane. So I have Vietnam out here over United States, and if I pull it closer to the poles, you'll see how much larger it's going to appear. So that's why Africa is much larger than what people expect, because so much of it is near the equator. But what I wanted to show here is Vietnam, and it's quite dense first level administrative divisions. So this is what it looks like. So there's 80 of these, and this is the size of Vietnam over United States. I mean, it's quite a long country, but size-wise, it's probably smaller than Texas. Now that I'm looking at it, and here I've got the Hung Yen region, which is the region I'm in right now, or the region I was in, and it doesn't even make up half of this Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan area. So that's quite interesting how different countries do their administrative divisions differently. But I think the biggest or like the most densest country in this sense is Slovenia right here. So it's in Europe, and especially over America, it looks very tiny. However, it has over 4 times the first level administrative divisions that the United States has, which we all know to be 50 states. So look at this. 212 municipalities. I have no idea why they do it like this, but that's how they do it. I have one of the municipalities in here. So, yeah, like an entire first level administrative division. So this region to Slovenia is the same as entire Texas to United States. Obviously, Texas is a state, so it has a high level of autonomy, but from like an administrative step point of view, they're the same. And this one of the municipalities of Slovenia, first level administrative divisions of Slovenia, barely makes up one Dallas neighborhood. So I think that's quite interesting and something I wanted to show you. There's some people, I remember attempting to name every first level administrative division in the world, and it's near impossible to get even 50%. Some people have actually 100%ed it just from their memory, including naming 12 municipalities in Slovenia. It's crazy. Crazy memory talent. Yeah, my quarters are just this that way. Around 700 meters to go. And we can finally close this. This is it. It's this house, pretty much right by where the dog is standing. Those are the guards. Just to prove it that I'm made it, that I'm here, which I am. Right there, maybe. Right between Hung Yen and Hai Duong in Vietnam. Now it's time to load new chords. Hopefully I'll get a big number because it's starting to get late. Sun's setting. 23. Yeah, I think this works. Yeah, cool. This is just a small village. Look how beautiful and massive that is. If I were to guess, I guess the Catholicism comes from France, which used to colonize Vietnam. And much of France is Catholic, and the Protestantism probably might come from. Xin chào.
Xin chào. Đây ở đâu này?
Much of the US, on the other hand, is Protestant, and they may have spread those beliefs to southern Vietnam while they were there. Not sure, but origin of beliefs and languages and culture is always interesting to me. Vietnamese is not even an ethnic group. It's kin, K-I-N-H. And sometimes you can see that on the signs here, but it may not be the same thing. Oh shit, actually, I need to go that way. Where's the bus going? I should have gotten onto it maybe. But yeah, I've seen worse skin in many signs. Might not mean the same thing, but because then there's just so many diacritics. Truthfully, Vietnamese language doesn't really fit the Latin alphabet. There's so many different kinds of sounds and more importantly tones, just like in Chinese. I don't know if it also has 4 like Mandarin or more like 6 like in Cantonese, but it has tones, and that basically means that the meaning of the word can drastically change on the way you pronounce it, even though it's written the same way. It's all about the intonation. It can be up or down, down or up, and everything in between, but pretty much. I'll pull up some names of different ethnic groups in Vietnam, or ethnic minorities, on the screen right now. But yeah, I need to be going this way ahead. Okay, this is where the roads converge. I need to go maybe 5 kilometers forwards from our course, a bit more. But there's a couple hotels in the way. One is close to the courts, one is somewhere along the way. It's really getting darker now, so probably time to get a place to sleep. No point exploring in the darkness. Internet was right on this one. Trekking is really easy in Vietnam. One thing I did read, however, that was that it's much easier to hitchhike if you have a helmet with you because it's required by law, and the driver could get in trouble if a tourist is riding without a helmet. But at least here people don't seem to care. Maybe it's like a law that is official, but it's not really enforced. But you know, obviously, if something were to happen, like some kind of a encounter with the police, I will definitely try to take the blame in the situation, because the driver is already doing me a huge favor by helping me out. Yeah, my driver stopped here to buy some close, but I think we're close to where my hotel is and actually where my quarters are as well. Only thing remaining today is to get a whole room and get something to eat. Other than that, it's been a very successful day. Very successful first or second day, depending on who you ask. Alright, this is where I'm staying tonight. Just gotta find some dinner now. And they have like a easy cafe here as well. Yeah, pretty cool. All set for tomorrow then.